What do you think is dangerous?
Just put everything in the oven, Carl.
Yes,
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Brittany, and today I'm filming a video that I've wanted to do for a while, just because like this is the kind of videos that I enjoy more, and this is something that I love to see from different people's perspectives and help people get a different idea. You already know from the title that I am filming how I edit my Instagram pictures. I've gotten crazy into my Instagram, maybe for the past few months now. It's one of my favorite like little side hobbies, doing like photo shoots and things like that. And I just like, after my Instagram got deleted, which was a whole thing forever ago, I just thought, why not? And so that's why I do it now. And today I'm going to show you my two methods how I edit my photos. The first, is this lopsided? So today I'm going to show you my two methods for editing. First being how I edit my camera photos, meaning when I use my DSLR, my big fancy camera, the one I'm recording on right now, and how I edit those with Photoshop. And then I'm going to be showing you how I edit my iPhone photos with the apps that I have on my phone. So let's get into it. Okay, so screen is now recording. So today we are going to be editing a photo that I've actually already edited. Here is the side-by-side of the unedited images. You can see the one is dark, the original very blue. For some reason my DSLR likes to make things very blue. If you know how to fix that, please hit a girl up. And then the other is the edited. So I do actually use Photoshop, which is a part of the Adobe Creative Cloud. If you are a college student like me, you can get all of the Creative Cloud apps for a discount, non-spons. I have to have it for my major. And it's just really good to have, and I really like having it. There's not too much that I use within Photoshop. It is just one specific setting type thing. I'm not crazy changing too much. It's really just about the coloring and the lighting and everything like that that's gonna get changed. So when you open it up, you go to the top menu bar and you click filter. And under filter, you click camera raw filter, and basically it just opens up like a broader sense of settings for the photos. So I work with this main page right here and one other page, which I will get to obviously. But this is the main page, and basically I'm just going to be playing with all of these little bars in the direction I want. So I prefer to have a lighter, brighter looking feed. So I always will be bumping up the exposure, and specifically I like to lower the contrast because I think it just makes the photo look better when it's completely edited. Highlights bump up, shadows bump down, and I have no set numbers I use. It's just whatever I feel looks best on the photo. So you could be bumping up the whites crazy high or just a teeny bit. It's really just what you're looking for. And all the white bars I tend to bring up, and all the black bars I tend to bring down, and you can see how that's looking here on the photo as it changes with it. Down here in this section, I only bump up the clarity a little bit every single time, and the vibrance a little bit. For the top part here with temperature and tint, I prefer just the way I like mine to look is I like to bump up the yellow and bring it down to green, I guess would be the term. And just to like a certain, again, this is just dependent on the photo, how the photo was taken. It's gonna look different every time. And you may be more of a blue pink kind of person. Sometimes I do end up using the blue and the green just because, again, lighting, the way the photo was taken, so that's what I have to do. But I tend to like to go for more yellow and green just because I like the way that feels. So then I go to this little camera looking button called calibration, and basically here again I'm just randomly playing with it. So if we look at red primary, that's pulling all the red colors. So you start with hue, and I pull it in both directions to see what it's going to look like. One of them is not going to look real. This is so hard to explain. This is probably the hardest part. And then the saturation to bump up or down as well. And that basically just kind of like gives certain colors more life and to make it look more natural. And I do that with all three. I start with red and I start with green. As you can see with the green is helping here. Here I look more on the like sickly side, but if I pull it this way, I'm looking more towards the red. And then again, I adjust the saturation to how I want it. Blue, you'll probably notice a lot here because of the background. The photo's looking very purple now. When I drag the other way, it's super blue. So you're gonna wanna have the hue to the left for this photo specifically, especially with pools and things like that, and then you just adjust the saturation how you like it. And then you can see here the difference. Command Z's to reverse it if you end up not liking it. I like to do it to compare the original to the edited. So you can see here how the first one, super blue, super dark, and then after edited, the photo is poppin'. An important thing I have found also, because sometimes we like multiple photos and we want to post multiple photos, but you're like, all those settings are so crazy, I'm gonna have to go in one at a time and specifically remember for the next photo. Sis, let's just take an example. Let's just do this photo, another one from the same day, open with Adobe Photoshop. And again, go to the filter. And instead of going down to this low one right here, camera raw filter, you can see now up top that another camera raw filter has popped up. So this is going to take the previous settings and transfer it onto this photo. So you don't have to worry about finding the exact calibration. It has it all there right for you. So these photos have the exact same editing on them, which is super awesome, because then your photos will look the same in the Instagram carousel. And that is literally all I do for my DSLR photos. You think it's crazy, but really the biggest difference is just like coloring and lighting. That makes the hugest difference in editing, and it really takes your photos to the next level. So the photos that we're going to be working with are also already up on my Instagram. This is from Smorgasbord. I did a vlog for that as well. If you want to look at the blog, I'll link it down below. Also, I haven't plugged my Instagram yet, @Albis. If you want to follow me, you totally should, because it's a cool place. So this is the original photo. This was more of a like candid moment. Sometimes I like to get more raw photos on my Instagram as well. And also sometimes, you know, you're not bringing your big bulky camera around. And iPhone photos are just as great. There's nothing to say one is better than the other. And this is the edited one that ended up on my Instagram. So you can see a difference again. Coloring, the yellows are popping more, and the lighting, I just look more bright and more happy, let's be honest. So I have a little editing app folder. I really don't even use most of these apps in here, but I have them just in case the one random time that I will need one random app. But the main app that I use, which I just realized is not in this folder, I don't even keep it in the folder, it's VSCO. The VSCO is my I have to bleep that word out, but that is like the biggest reference I have. So I'm gonna do my best guess to remember how I edited the photo, but it's kind of true to how I usually edit with VSCO, is that I don't have like a set filter or use the same with the Photoshop. I play around with the settings until I find something I like. So when you import the photo, you click the little bar at the bottom. I hope that makes sense. And basically I just go through all the filters and I find which one I like best, that I think best fits the photo and gives me what I want. So my typical go-to filter that I generally seem to always use is C1. It's either C1, C6, or E6. Those are my three most used filters, but today I'm going to use E1, and you can adjust C1, and you can adjust how much you want to use it, but I'm going to keep it at the full 12. And then I move to the next little icon, and this is where it's really going to change how the photo looks. Specifically, again, I like to raise the exposure, lower the contrast. Some of the things are still similar, but obviously this is phone version and things are a little different. I would say the Photoshop really is more specific and into the photo, where this I feel like is just more like a top coated layer, if that makes sense. On this one, I bump up the saturation most. See, I can't specifically really hit the certain hues as I did in the Photoshop one, but that's where I think it makes the biggest difference, is how much you can saturate. And here I still bring a little clarity into it as well, but not too much. For tones, highlights, honestly, it like depends, because sometimes I feel like it does not good if you bring the highlights up. So for this time I'm gonna leave it down. And then shadows, for here shadows, if you raise it, I feel like it doesn't make it look great. So I'm not gonna use any shadows. White balance is here where I get the yellow and the green tint again. That is where I feel, and if you wanted to make it pink, you can just see the subtle differences. It's really all about like what you like in a photo. So it's just, you can fine tune it to how you like. And skin tone is a huge thing to focus on. Here you can see I'm more on the green side, and here you can see I'm more on the red. Red is more of like a lively color, where green is more sick, just to, And then again, I'm gonna wait for this plane. Again, if you are liking this setting and you want this across multiple photos for a carousel, in the third little icon you can create a recipe, and that just saves everything that you did to the photo, and you can move it over to another one as well. But the thing is, if you don't have VSCO X, which is like the plus paid for version, you can only have one recipe at a time. So then you would have to go to this one and you would have to delete the recipe, and so you can't like you can't have more than one saved is what I'm trying to get at. Okay guys, so that was my full how I edit my Instagram pictures. Again, plug myself at Albis. If you want to follow me on Instagram, that would be so great. And if you guys like this video and you liked watching me, then you should press that subscribe button down below. It would mean so much. I'm posting 2 videos a week this summer, so there's a lot of content going on, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!